Time in YouTube, and welcome to Deck Analysis. Today we are going to be showcasing the good old Mew and its Night March. Now, this series is going to be taking over No EXs and E-Extra Special for the time being. We're going to give it a shot. Pretty much what's going to happen is, if you did miss the update video, Deck Analysis is going to be on Mondays. And then on Wednesdays and Fridays, we're going to actually use this deck in battle. So today, all you're going to see is my analysis of the video, of the deck. What I assume the deck should be able to do, what the numbers should showcase, and then in the next two videos, you'll be able to see it in action against a lot more, hopefully, competitive decks. Maybe not all the times, depending on who I'm battling. So for example, I know I should be battling my girlfriend Lady Eon in one of these two matches. Her deck isn't up to par per se, she doesn't have shamans and all that stuff yet on Pokemon TCGO, but it's to showcase a little bit more of a variety for you guys. And this series, hopefully, will get a lot more of you involved with the channel. So I'm hoping you guys do enjoy this variation of it. And if you guys don't, obviously give it a couple weeks, but if you guys don't like it, let me know, and I will go right back to No EXs and E-Extra Special. But, with that being said, Mew. Mew is the 50 HP Psychic-type Pokemon with Memories of Dawn. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any of your own basic Pokemon in play. This is really cool, as it does match up very well with Pumpkaboo's Night March or Joltik's Night March. It's incredibly fast, and don't forget Lampent. Now Lampent will not be seeing play, but it's going to hit that discard pile really quickly with the help of Battle Compressor. Battle Compressors let us discard 3 cards from our deck, and I'm sorry to say, without any Litwicks, Lampents become unplayable. So, they make great discard fodder. So we're trying to get them out of the deck right away. Now, if one gets into your hand, don't worry, there are ways of getting rid of it. Primarily, Ultra Ball. But there are, Sycamores and all those kind of things in the deck as well. So we have opportunities to get rid of it. But obviously, we're trying in this deck to use Mew as the main attacker because it doesn't cost us a Night Marcher. It also has the attack Encounter, 1 colorless energy. You can search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. In this Mew variation, we should not be using that. There are other Mew decks out there that will probably benefit from it, but for Night March variant, if I'm not doing at least 100 damage turn 1 or 2, probably turn 1, like my attacking turn 1, I didn't play right. Now, we're going to move on a little bit here. First off, the other two evolution lines in the deck is Shaman, obviously. Shaman is just there for setup. You know what? We're going to get it in there, get that setup ability, get more cards, and hopefully be able to dish out the damage we need with the other Pokemon. Now, the obvious unfortunate here is the fact that I may lead with Shaman, and then I want to get it off the bench as soon as I can. Quick note for it as well, it does have Sky Return. It's one of the few EXs with low HP that, you know what, if I have to slap a double colorless energy on it to get some damage off, that's great, and I can get it out of prize range. A lot of people, especially nowadays, going with Night Marchers, take out the Shamans because they cost 2 prizes. So, we want to make sure we don't leave this on the bench if we don't have to. Our other Pokemon, now this might seem like an oddball to you, is a Bronzor Bronzong one-of line. Now, this is really cool for Metal Links. Once during your turn, you may attach a Steel Energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. So, what this entails is we needed some basic energy. Now, Steel type is really, really essential here, as it gives Mew good old Memories of Dawn using Joltik's Night March, because it'll only cost 1 with the Dimension Valley. Each Psychic Pokemon's attacks cost 1 less to play. So, Mew, using Joltik's Night March, only needs 1 energy to attack. And Bronzor, getting that Steel energy, lets it use it for 1 energy. It doesn't need Psychic or Grass or whatever. So Steel is perfect for it, and not only does it bypass Pokemon like Aegislash, so it'll counter that kind of stuff, it bypasses, you know, other amazing things. Like anything that takes away our DCEs or anything like that, we have a way to come back. Now, I'll admit, this variation of the deck does get walled by Jolteon, so I haven't tweaked it past this point. Maybe, I don't know, something would be cool for that, so maybe an idea from that would be great from you guys. But we'll continue on with our other trainers and supporters here. We have 4 Acrobike and 4 Trainer's Mail to easily siphon through this stack. This way we'll be able to get in there, get into the cards that we actually need. Battle Compressors, Level Balls, Ultra Balls. Even if a VS Seeker shows up, that is a lot better than some other things that we may not need. As well as, we have a Startling Megaphone in here, primarily for Garbodor. You never know if something like that's going to come out, and you want to be able to take out those awful tools. It even helps take out Spirit Links if an opponent sets up too early. We also have 1 copy of Target Whistle. Target Whistle lets put a basic Pokemon from your opponent's discard pile onto his or her bench. This is really cool because it lets me take, say, a Shaman on my opponent's side, bring it back onto the bench, and then steal it with a Lysander. I get the ability to take out my opponent's Pokemon twice. So this card is very handy, very efficient, and it does do the job you want it to do. But that's why there's only 1 of, because if you ran more than that right now, you'd be losing your card space for something else, just as maybe more important. Last item, no, I think we went through all the items. We're going into our supporters. We have an AZ. This is primarily for Shaman. We want to get Shaman up into our hand. We want to get Shaman into our hand as best as we can. We do not want to leave it out there waiting for someone to just come in and knock it off, or knock it out. So AZ is a possibility for Shamans to be safe. Another supporter here is the Lysander. This is exactly the card that we don't want to see on our opponent's side. This will steal our Shamans, steal that maybe that Mew we're trying to set up in the bench. You never know. This is a very scary card for our opponent to have, but it's amazing for us because we can take out the attackers we want. Again, this pairs very well with Target Whistle. So the ability to, I don't know, pull out that Shaman with Lysander is just that much more crucial to us. Especially if we have like Joltik in the active position where he's super effective against Shaman. We are running just 1 N, especially in the later game, N does not support us. We should be taking higher prize counts quicker than our opponent, so this is actually a card that will hurt us. But in the situation of a bad game where our opponent is ahead, this card can come and grace us with amazing support. So N is still a staple in every deck, even if you're only running 1. Again, we are running these Sycamores. Discard your hand, draw 7. Sycamore is a guaranteed 7 cards. This is so much stronger than a Birch for Night March. We do have the 1 Skyla. Again, this is just to get that particular item we're missing. So if at the start of the game I desperately need a Battle Compressor or an Ultra Ball to get Shaman, I can do that. There's a lot of opportunities to get myself rolling. And she just has that ability to get anything we want. Except maybe a Professor's Letter, because I don't have one. But we went over the stadium. Fighting Fury Belt is our first tool card. Now this is going to help you get to a higher HP value and dish out a little bit more damage. It's really nice to have because, you know what, sometimes in the early game if they can do 50 damage, they may not be able to do 90. So with this card, I can stay alive just that little longer and hopefully provide more damage for the next turn. or at least, keep my Pokemon one more turn while my opponent loses theirs. Now, the Floatstone is here primarily for Bronzong, but sometimes you never know. Maybe you have that attacker, you got Lysandered out, and you have a Floatstone in your hand, you throw it on that Joltik. Get that Joltik out of there and get in there with your attacker. Floatstones are really crucial nowadays, and I'm really happy to have just one copy in here. Again, we can Skyla it, we can Skyla the Fighting Fury Belts, we can get what we need depending on the situations of the game. Now, our final cards before the end of this episode are the Double Colorless Energy. You want to move fast. So if I only have Mew and Pumpkaboo, I want to be able to get that Night March off as quick as possible. If I can get the Dimension Valley out and a Double Colorless Energy on the Mew, I'm attacking turn 1. Guaranteed. All the time. That Double Colorless Energy also will work on the Mew for Joltik without the Dimension Valley, so keep that in mind. And finally, as we've stated, I have Steel Energy. So 3 Steel Energy here. This gives us that final, nice rounded out feel for a Night March deck. Now, keep in mind that this is not always a perfect deck. I'm going to be showcasing decks that either I build or a friend of mine and I build together. So for this one, I'm not going to lie, I stole a couple of his ideas from his deck for this. But we're going to be showcasing what I think could be a really cool deck, and we're going to be going up against at least Lady Eon in the next 2 battles. I don't know who our secondary opponent is, but I'm sure you guys will be just as happy to see anybody at this point. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check into the next 2 battles to see just how well this deck can compare, and hopefully we'll get a couple wins. But until then, time out.